In the last video, we have talked about the right to access your personal information that is given by the DPDP Act to the data principal. In this video, we are going to talk about the right to correction and erasure if in case the data principal means anything of this sort. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily find new content on data privacy, and these days we are talking of the DPDP Act and currently on the user rights given under the DPDP Act. So let's quickly touch base again on the definition of what a data principal is and what is the data as per DPDP Act. So any individual whose information is being processed by anyone, that individual is the data principal and that processor is the data fiduciary. Right? Depending on the size, a larger fiduciary could be also termed as significant data fiduciary, and they have a slightly higher role than just a data fiduciary. But when it comes to data principal is that individual whose data is being processed. If it's a child of less than 18 years of age, then the data principal includes the parents and the guardian of the child, which is a standard in Indian context. Even if you open a bank account, you open a under guardianship account. And if it's a person with some disability, then you need to have a lawful guardian as a part of the data principal. So that's the basic definition of who a data principal is. Anything that identifies an individual, any parameter, is what a personal data is. Name of a person, address, phone number, email are related to any individual. Fine? If these are sensitive, the definition of sensitive says if the information is lost or misused and that creates a harm to the individual, then that part of the information is called sensitive personal data. Right? It could be financials, it could be biometric, it could be health record. They become sensitive because they can cause harm to an individual. So that's the definition of what a personal data is and what is a sensitive personal data. Well, we have already used our right to access. Why did we use our right to access? It could be that you collected my information, telling me the purpose and everything. So I know you have the right information, but I changed my address. But I got an additional phone number, right? So I need to know what phone number, what address do you have with you. Fine. It could also be possible that you bought a database from third party and you are processing it with my information in it. So I have the right to see what personal information related to me is available with you. And once I look at it, I have accessed my data and I think it is incomplete. I think it needs correction. There is a gap. I have changed my address. I have changed my phone number. Sometimes even the name spellings themselves go wrong. Then I have the right to get that information corrected. Now, I want you to continue to process my data. I need that marketing information. I need the offer that you give, whatever is the purpose of processing the personal information, but it's going on the wrong address or phone number, so I use my right to correct. However, I think I don't need it. So even if the information is correct or incorrect, I use my right to erasure where I say, boss, hold on, please do not use my information. Stop it here, right? So I use my right to erasure and I do not allow you or I request you to please erase my information. Data principal may find it unlawful also at some times. Why would he find it unlawful? Because you collected it for a purpose. Purpose is complete and you are still using it, or you are using it for some other purpose without informing me, without taking my consent. So that's the unlawful usage of my personal data. Even then I can say, sir, please erase my information from your records. Right? The request, of course, as for any other right, has to go in a prescribed format, and the fiduciary is supposed to respond back in a specified time period yet to be defined by the Indian law when the rules come in for the law. The purpose, again, as you know, the rights provide you the purpose of transparently knowing what is my personal information available with someone, what is the purpose of processing it. If I like it, I allow them to process. If I see a correction, I get it corrected, and it fulfills the entire purpose of things. It helps improve my trust on your business and therefore improve your reputation as a data fiduciary in front of your customers or data principal. The duties of fiduciary are that they should have a completely proper established mechanism of correction and erasure. They should ensure that they are verifying the identity of the person who has requested the correction and ensure that they respond back on a timely manner, and they can refuse a correction or erasure in two cases. One, it's a legal compliance. There's a litigation going on. I can't correct your information now. Right? I can put in a note over there that someone requested a correction, but the litigation is already on. Right? So at the date of litigation, whatever is the information, and legitimate purposes like public benefits or performance of a contract. These are some of the legitimate purposes. We discussed about the legitimate use cases in another video on my playlist, so you can go through that as well. I will tag it here in this video. So if the information is being used for a legitimate purpose, then the fiduciary has the right to reject the correction or the erasure, especially the erasure, right? Then you come on to actions that a principal can take. If a request is rejected, is refused, he can request a review, he can go to the data protection officer, the internal one for that fiduciary, especially if it's a significant fiduciary, and he can complain it with the data protection board. The grievance redressal mechanism the government of India is going to provide for the data principals to take care of their rights if in case the fiduciary is not taking care of their rights. And the principal has all the mechanisms to seek judicial recourse and get their information corrected. So that's about the right to correction and erasure of information. I hope you like the content of my video. Please press the like and bell icon. Share my channel and my videos with your friends and family who would love to increase their knowledge on data privacy. And your feedback in the comment section would be great. It would be very helpful to me. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already done that. Thank you.